The Philadelphia Phillies just signed a player to the largest contract in the history of sports, and Compass just bought a CRM. Check it out now on Toole Time. I am Tom Toole. She's Jess Lion. This is Toole Time. We are talking about some big news locally, big news in the real estate community, and obviously wrapping it up with some motivation. So let's jump right in. Bryce Harper and the Phillies agreed to a $330 million contract over 13 years, the biggest sports contract in history. Is it a good move for the Phillies?
Okay, so I am, not going to pretend like I knew who Bryce Harper was before this conversation. Also, I'm not the biggest baseball person, but I think, not worth it. That's where I stand on this. $330 million over 13 years, $25 million a year. I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's too much to spend on one person. But yes, I understand that, after they signed him, there were a ton of ticket sales, and obviously that's great for the city and things like that, but too much. Way too much.
So I couldn't disagree with you more on this. They sold $4 million worth of tickets the day after the signing was announced.
Yes.
Their merchandise sales are up 5,000%. 5,000%. This is a real number. So that alone, just from a revenue stream, number one, has buoyed the team already, and we're 3-4 days in. What I will also tell you is ticket sales have not been good historically since 2012, and when the Phillies were a competitive team from 08, or really started about 06 when they started selling out the ballpark a little more frequently, that was the place to go. They were sold out every night. They set a sellout streak in Major League Baseball. So when you bring on someone like this, first of all, in 13 years, his average salary is $25.6 million. That's not going to be that much with inflation when you look at it. What it also does, it allows them, because there's no opt-out clause here. Most of these big contracts have like a 5-year opt-out or a 3-year opt-out where they can go back and get another bite of the apple. This does not. So It locks him in at cost certainty for the MVP of the league. He's 26 years old. So he's going to be 39 when the contract's up. So, yeah, is the back end going to suck? Yeah, that's every contract. But for relevancy, for ticket sales, all the things happening here, I mean, they sold 100,000 tickets in 24 hours.
Yeah, a ton of tickets. But I just can't, and maybe it's because I'm not obviously into sports like that or baseball like that, but, I mean, it'll be a lot of great fun for the city, but $330 million, I just can't wrap my head around paying a professional athlete that amount of money.
Well, there's professional athletes that make more per year.
Yeah.
So, again, you have to look at inflation. In 13 years when this contract's up, this is going to be a good deal. It's going to be relatively small. The San Diego Padres also signed someone to a $300 million contract, and they didn't have those kind of ticket sales. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a 5,000 percent increase in their merchandise. So I would say, how is it not worth it, and how could you not make this move being in the 5th largest market in the country? So time will tell if they win or not. What I know is that the bottom line matters to these owners, and the bottom line's looking a lot heftier and a lot meatier after they sign this guy.
I say not worth it.
Well, you'll be wrong on that one, so we'll see how this goes.
But he's cute, though. He's like Jason Worth number 2.
Well, he plays the same position. More importantly, though, I mean, he's one of the most noticeable faces in Major League Baseball, so that brings a lot of notoriety to the team and to the city, and now he's actually trying to recruit other athletes to come here. So there's some intangible value. It's not just, is he worth it? I mean, this is what these guys get paid. There's pitchers that aren't as good making more money per year with him than Bryce Harper is.
That's insane.
So I for the region, for the intangible value here, there is no question in my mind they're going to get their money back and then some on this. It's going to have a positive ROI.
Maybe I'll go to a Phillies game now.
Well, so that's one extra ticket sale. So now it's 100,001. All right, so Jess was wrong on that one. I'll be right. That's okay. Next topic here, and a little more interesting to me in the real estate space is, and I'll let you lead in first, but last week, Contactually, which is a real estate CRM, so it helps you manage when to contact your clients, who to call, etc. It's a contact management database. They were purchased by Compass, which is a real estate brokerage. So the rumors are the deal's around $50 million, nothing documented. I find that these deals, the numbers that come out and what actually happens are far different. So is this a good move for Compass, and is it a good move for Contactually?
For Compass, I think maybe it is a good move, getting some new technology to help them, because I know they were struggling there from what the article had said. But a lot of the, for Contactually, I don't think so. I don't think it was a good move, because a lot of the people who use that CRM are kind of pissed because Compass, is a competitive broker with a lot of these people. And I think they're like, are we going to trust our data with them? Will it be leaked? Yes, it's a different server, but there are slip-ups all the time. So maybe not a good move for Contactually.
So we're going to disagree on this one as well. I find this very funny that all throughout the real estate industry, Compass is talking about how their tech is so great.
Yeah.
But then they went out and bought something. So how great was it? And I haven't adopted Contactually. I've seen it. I've messed around with the interface. So I found it's simple, it's clean, it works well. I don't see that being a problem. I think that if it's a win for Compass, if their agents actually use it, because we know that very few agents adopt the technology they have.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be to be determined. For Contactually, anytime you get a buyout like that as a tech company, if the deal's $50 million, I mean, that's a slam dunk, because they have 37,000 users. So knowing that they charge on a monthly subscription, getting a $50 million deal as a tech company, I mean, that's a win every day. And that's got to be, there's probably some contingencies there. We don't know that's the real deal or not. I can't get over that Compass has been raving about their tech, but then they went out and bought a CRM. Like, why, if their tech is so good, why are they buying one of the most basic things that are out there? You talked about people being a little afraid of their data and what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Now, they interviewed a couple people here. I found the most interesting one was Larry Flick, who runs Berkshire Hathaway here locally out of the Devon office, so Berkshire Hathaway, Fox and Roach. A little different than Berkshire Hathaway National because they're a little bit of a different organization here. So what he says is that it's one of the multiple best-in-class technologies integrated into their agent center. They designed it so individual apps can be swapped for more competitive software. It's interesting that Compass has continually claimed to be developing their own CRM, but instead invested in a product that Berkshire Hathaway, Fox and Roach rolled out months ago. So again, I don't know. It just tells you all that tech stuff Compass was talking about is probably a load of BS.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the tech's the same. I mean, it can't be that much better. That's like Keller Williams telling people they have AI. They don't have AI. So, I look at this as a win for Contactually because they got the money, they got the deal. That's kind of the golden parachute for tech companies. Are
they going to be losing a lot of their clients, though, people who trust their data with them because they're going with a competing broker who's going to really
Well, it depends how the deal works, though, right? I mean, if they're just selling it to them, who cares if they lose the users? They're getting paid. I mean, that's so you don't really know what the answer is here. What I say about Compass is that they have to use the software. I mean, it's Remax has a website, nobody uses it. I mean, we're Remax agents here. Keller Williams, same thing. They have that new platform that rolled out. It'll be great if they use it, but the adoption rate is usually like 10 to 15% on these things. So, for Compass, I don't know if it makes a ton of sense. Love it for Contactually and for the investors and all the business partners there. That's really great. We'll see what happens. I mean, Compass is all over the news right now. People are worried about their data. I mean, if there was, I know for a fact through a really good source that I have, because Tom Ferry Coaching also offers Contactually to all its clients.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't use it because we have a different CRM. We've already invested in it. We're way too deep on it. They came out almost immediately, and people at the Tom Ferry organization and said, there's nothing to worry about with the data. We've been assured by them. We've gone over this. There's no way that data gets compromised in this sort of deal. I mean, that happens. I mean, this company, the whole thing blows up. So I don't really see that. I think it's kind of a reactionary statement saying we're worried about our data.
I disagree.
All right. Two sides of the fence, two topics in a row.
Two opposite sides.
So the quote, the motivational piece here, comes from Winston Churchill. the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Jess, what do you got?
This says to me that you have a choice. You can live a positive life. You can live a negative life. It's all about how you look at things. And what you can learn from your mistakes has a lot to do with your outlook. Or even the challenges that you're having. You face a challenge, you can say, okay, I suck, and really go down this negative path, this valley, or you can learn from it and work your way up to the peak, working into our Peaks and Valleys book that we just read by Spencer Johnson. He talked about this a little bit. Learning from your valleys or your mistakes, it's ultimately going to give you a ton of growth. So I think that's learning from all of your troubles.
Well, pessimism versus optimism is a very point of view centric sort of outlook. So when someone, they see a problem with every opportunity, I mean, well, then you're not going to get that far because you're already complaining about something you haven't even gotten into yet. Versus the optimist seeing opportunity in difficulties. I mean, when you embrace challenges. So right now, a big challenge for any salesperson is having to respond right away to all these inquiries that come in.
Mm-hmm.
If you embrace that, you're going to close a hell of a lot more business. Now, if you want to complain about it, that complaint's going to come through when you actually are making these calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're reaching out to these people, you might seem like annoyed on the phone.
You'll hear it in your voice.
That comes through. Yeah, you hear it in your voice. Your body language probably sucks on the other side because you're like, oh, another call. And so, and then you look at, let's look at who Winston Churchill is. I mean, he's one of the greatest leaders of any country and took Great Britain through the world wars. So obviously, he had to navigate a much more difficult thing than having to respond to online leads right away, right? So seeing that he has that kind of outlook, I mean, when there was a lot of difficulties. I mean, he was running a war, and he saw opportunities in what was going on rather than being pessimistic and complaining about it. It's probably why his side won, one of the reasons at least. To me, this is the only way, when you embrace a challenge or you embrace something that's not good, that people are complaining about, that's what separates winners from losers, bottom line. So Winston Churchill's obviously one of the best minds of the modern era here. I love the quote, and I love the idea of seizing the challenges and making them opportunities rather than the other way around, because that's what separates anyone. I mean, if you have a challenge of or a difficulty like losing weight, well, the opportunity is you got a lot of room to improve, so just go do it.
You have to make it work for you.
Good stuff. So we got a little controversy here on the show this week.
Heat it.
I'll be right 2 times as usual, so we'll see how that plays out, but I'll be bringing that up later, Jess, just to remind you. We'll catch you next week on Toole Time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.